That was the moment Stephen McMahon says he knew he had to do something. The garage behind the Santa Monica condos, where he's head of the HOA, was plagued by scenes like this. People who are homeless looking for hidden places to use the bathroom or do drugs, terrifying neighbors and their children from getting in or out of their cars. So McMahon got to work, learning everything he could about circuit boards and converters, tinkering for months to make this, the blue Chirper, what he calls diversion security. He's installed 2 versions in the garages. They hook right into the electrical box. When a motion detector senses someone nearby, a blue light, like the ones DMV uses, starts flashing and the chirping begins. And it won't stop until the person is gone. He checked with legal experts about how far he could take it.
She's as long as it's a sound found in nature, a cricket, and it's an accurate, rendition of a cricket. Also, it's really hard to find a vein. If you've got an intense blue light blinking, it does something in your eyes so you can't see blue very well, so you can't find a vein to shoot up.
The combo works. Remember these guys? When they couldn't figure out how to stop the noise and lights, they left.
He comes and it's got a chirper. See, and they leave. The word is spread over at Reed Park because we're getting less and less and less of these.
Neighbors see it as a non-aggressive way to get people to move along and also a signal for them if there is someone there. Corey Greenwell says for his family, it's been nothing less than
a total reinvention of our life in that building by doing something as simple as being able to park and being able to go out to our car without fear.
Now McMahon is building blue chirpers for the church across the street, the buildings next door, and has requests piling up. At the moment, he's charging about $500 each, but says with investors and a mass production plan, he could get it down to under $150 for peace of mind.
The 84-year-old woman in the back, she used to have to call me to go down to her car. Now she doesn't call. She says, I just go down to my car. If I happen to hear the chirper on, I just wait a few minutes because I know he's going to leave. And then I just go in my car and she said, because they're gone.
In Santa Monica, Lori Perry.
Wow, folks. So in between all the stories that, you sift through trying to get some things on what's happening in the political realm, right? What's happening on the Republican side? What's happening on the Democratic side? What's happening with the Trumpster? What's happening with the Kamalister? The calamity. And then all of a sudden, I see this story, and it just, I don't know, it just spoke to me. And I said, here's an elderly gentleman sitting around in California, Santa Monica, wondering how can he get rid of these homeless people in a way that's just like gentle, right? Just a little nudge, a little push. You don't have to get, all extreme and, yell and scream and shout or call the police or whatever. So this gentleman right here, Stephen McMahon, he comes up with a device that he calls the blue chirper, as you saw in the video. So here's basically the little bit of the backstory. Frustrated by the unhoused population's neighborhood, a Santa Monica man has developed a chirping deterrent that he believes bothers transients enough that they will find another place to camp out. So what Steven's basically doing is, all right, I'm going to push you out from my area. Go to some other area. And this is going to be helpful for his business. Because, right now he's making these blue chirpers, and he has to do it one at a time, I suppose. So it's cost him like about $500 to make each one of them. But he says, some entrepreneur, some investor's going to come in here and they're going to start scaling this up. He ought to go on Shark Tank, for crying out loud. But anyways, he said he's lived in Santa Monica for decades. And he calls his motion sensing device the blue chirper because of blue strobe light and the cricket light noise it emits. It's called a diversion security. And we're diverting them away from our 20-block radius somewhere else, he tells KTLA's Carlos Cecido. So he said, Stephen came up with this idea after seeing an influx of homeless people using the alleyway facing carports to sleep overnight. He goes, I've lived here for over 30 years. This neighborhood was just an absolute paradise. Beautiful, but it's deteriorated over the last 5 to 6 years. And he said, I want to push these people out of here and bring Santa Monica back to the way it was. So here's some pictures of him building this Chirper. Okay, here's the inventor right here in his office. There it is, folks. The blue Chirper. The blue Chirper. Na 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 na. Little blue strobe light. They're in the carport. They're underneath inside here. They're housed inside these cubicles so nobody can get to them. And here's a guy here that was basically before urinating and trying to find a place to sleep. And they can't, baby. So that's unbelievably great. Now, he said it wasn't an easy undertaking because he had one failure after another. I wonder if other inventors have gone through the same thing until he had that aha moment. That's right, folks. So he changed the approach that he was using and it worked. The device electronics are held in that wooden box. He makes it by hand. He's now branching out. He's selling the blue Chirper to local businesses. They barely even sit down, they leave, he said of the transients who come across the noise and light the device creates. His personal surveillance cameras have caught quite a few people leaving the carport immediately once the device starts to blink and chirp. So far, he said he's made about a dozen of these. He has about a dozen more on back order. He believes the demand for his device will go up once the homelessness crisis continues. Look, he says, and he had a lawyer. Can you believe he had to go to a lawyer to find out if this was kosher? And I guess he was told, well, as long as it's, it makes a noise that's in nature, and it emits a noise that is similar to what's in nature. Like, I'm assuming that maybe a loud blaring alarm, would that be illegal? I don't think it should be. I mean, we have alarms, around your house. Home alarms, right? Somebody breaks in, somebody comes near it, it starts to go off. So I don't know, but he's saying, look, as long as it's a sound that you hear in nature and it's not louder than an actual cricket, you're going to be fine, he said. Nobody can complain about it. Folks, hats off to Stephen. Hats off to this guy right here. Hats off to him. You, sir, are a true patriot and a good American. Anyways, folks, we thought you'd enjoy this story. We'd love for you to share. Comment down below. Let us know what you think. You're watching the Dr. Nasser Shake Show. I'm your host. My name is Dr. Nasser. And if you haven't done so already, we'd love for you to subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow us. You all know what to do. And I'll leave with my final thought, which is, when you're right, you're right. Oh, this guy is so right. And when you're left, you're just wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.